How you guys doing? This is Mike from 603 MTech Autowerks. Today we're going to be shooting our first ever vlog and hopefully bringing you more weekly.
That his subframe was welded, but it was welded with screws.
So we just fucking slap it right here, you know? Nice little sign. Let's all remember that I fix cars for a living. Let's see what we got here. Nice. How'd I do? Professional. I'm gonna move the GL over here too. Okay. Let's check this build area out. So one of our complaints was oil leaking at front of engine. It's okay, having the sensors leaking. Pretty wet around this oil filter. Axle boots leaking. We got a 2011 ML350 in the shop for a front oil leak. I'm looking for, like, it's coming from some of these sensors up front. So, torn axle boot. I'm gonna give her a quote. This just came from the dealer, so she's well aware of what's going on. So we got a GL in the shop. The brake fluid leaking. I'll have to get that one on the lift. We got Joel in here doing a subframe. This is the old one. Rotted right out. We're also doing some brake lines at the same time. We'll also be doing some front brakes. This is Joel, guys.
How we doing?
Good, looking good. Just showing you some more cars that are at the shop. We got this 220S class. It's the key's stuck in the ignition, just waiting on a couple parts. Then we got this 535i 09. Came in for some overheating issues. We're putting a water pump and thermostat in it. I think the parts actually just arrived, so we'll have to get that in the shop. I'll take you guys inside. We got an old SL 500. I believe what is a 1999 SL 500. Engine still runs. Head gasket's completely blown. Car's been sitting for 6 years. There's a loud knocking noise when it's running, and it smokes out the shop. But hopefully get this in the shop this week. Bring it back to life. We got a Ford F-150 outside. We've been putting bumpers and grills. We're just waiting for some panels coming from the body shop. We got a little detailing. Hopefully get some more stuff so we can organize all that stuff. Pressure washer. So this is our back shelf where we keep all our Mercedes parts. Getting pretty low. I actually ran out of some filters here. But as you can see, we just use mainly Mercedes fluids. We actually have a 55-gallon drum over there with a pump on it. These are our waste oil containers. This is our little hangout spot, little waiting room. Throw on some Netflix. Sit back and relax. Going to the dealership, pick up some parts, and go pick up a painted part from the body shop.
So this F-150 that we've been working on, the customer decided that they don't like the look of the amber on the front bumper for these lights. So instead of waiting for the new ones to show up for now, just gonna swap over the ones on the rear bumper. That way we can get the whole front assembled with the new grille. So I got the lights swapped out to the white ones now on the front. And then I also installed this mesh grille because the customer had supplied us with a light bar, but unfortunately it was just slightly too big to fit in that opening. So this will make it so at least there isn't an open hole there. It makes it look a little more complete. So to hook up these lights on the bumper, what we did is cut off the factory fog light plug from the wire and basically soldered on the plug for the lights. It made it look all nice on both sides. So now we just gotta get the bumper mounted on and make sure everything works. And just like that, front end is all done. Got the bumper all aligned, trim pieces in, lights wired, plate bracket, grille.
Let's see this.
What does Boss Man think?
I don't know. Check this out, high level. Looks good for my house. It could be on there. Sounds like it could be on there.
What we got going on?
What are we doing?
Yeah.
We're doing a quick test on the C300.
Yep.
Looks like it's in for an evap leak. Getting a new engine. All sorts of knocking going on.
So we just had a customer come in. They actually came in through our website to get an oil change. But we looked over his car and we actually found that his subframe was welded, but it was welded with screws. They looked kind of like this, and they were just tacked together. And they painted all around it black, but the wheel was crooked. So I showed the customer. He just bought the car probably a week ago. Very upset about it, but he's actually going to be going back to wherever he bought it to tell him about that, because it's definitely not safe and it definitely doesn't pass state inspection. We also have the video for the subframe on our YouTube channel showing you the common issues with the subframes.
Thanks, Mike. Best.
How do I get this thing in selfie mode?
Trigger 3 times.
1, 2, 3. I like this. Ooh. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
2 to go back.
1, 2.
It's 2 to 7.
Well, why ain't it going?
Only you, bro.
Yo, get that in the vlog. Got an interior detail in the shop today, C300. So we got the engine to the SL starting to come out. We're trying to match up that engine compared to this one. We found out that the oil pans are a little different and the front cover was a little different. Same engine, just a different format. So we're trying to find another engine that's going to work with us.
I got a good feeling about it. I think we'll find one. It's very close.
Yeah. The housing right here is a little different and the bottom wall pan is different. The drain plug on the SL is right about here. And that one's way back there. And it actually hit on the frame if we were to put this in. I feel like I'm on TV.
Alright guys, you asked your questions on Instagram, now Mike will be answering them. So starting off, we got, how did you start as a mechanic?
How did I start as a mechanic? I was about 16 years old and I used to buy and sell used Volkswagens. And I used to buy them and sell them, put some brakes on them. All the little electrical issues that I had, I just sold it and lost on it. But I decided that I wanted to take it to the next step. So after high school, I joined Universal Technical Institute and basically went there for a year, signed up for the Mercedes-Benz program. I actually canceled out on the Mercedes-Benz program and I worked in a shop for a year. A lot of people don't know that, but I worked in an independent shop for a year working on rust buckets, and I decided I was going to go back to school and work on Mercedes. So that's kind of how it all started, and it kind of just went off from there.
So why Volkswagen and Mercedes?
Why Volkswagen and Mercedes? I knew that Mercedes was going to be, you know, everybody wants to drive Mercedes. Not everybody wants to drive Volkswagen. That's the way I looked at it. High dollar.
Favorite AMG or favorite Benz of all time?
Ooh, favorite AMG, favorite Benz. Honestly, if I had a lot of money, I would just probably buy a Lambo, a white Lambo, and I'd just probably daily that. Maybe an E63. Like, I'm a car guy, but I'm not like big into cars like I used to be.
Yep.
So I think I would just drive like just a nice Lambo, shooting flames, you know, all that crazy stuff. But E63 all day.
Okay.
You know?
When did you realize you wanted to open up your own shop?
When did I realize? You know, when I moved, I worked at a Mercedes-Benz dealership in Texas. I'm from New Hampshire, but I went to a dealership in Texas right out of school, and they paid for my housing for a year, gave me a big sign-on bonus. And it was a little tough because I had one guy that was just always making stuff difficult for me, but I realized like the actual dealership itself was very caring. They did whatever they could to keep me there, and they actually made me feel wanted. But I was just really bored. I was in Midland, Texas. There was nothing there. It's all oil rigs, and I decided that I'm going to move back home. So I actually got a job at the dealership in Massachusetts, and that dealership kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I made a lot of money. I'm not gonna lie there. Made a lot of money, but I also drove an hour and a half. And it just got to a point where I just felt like, I got to the point where I just felt like if I went to my team leader or my manager, like I already knew what the next step was, So I love that, Yeah, anyways. Someone from the dealership calling me. Weird. But yeah, I just got sick of the drive, and I just felt like, when I got stuck in big jobs and I didn't know what to do, I'd go ask somebody else and they wouldn't have the answer. So I really got really good at troubleshooting, and I think, life is just a big troubleshoot. You just kind of have to find your way out of things. And I just felt like I got really, really good at that. I'm not saying that I know everything, but I just knew when I got stuck, I would find a way to get unstuck. I might have spent hours on ends, a wiring diagram at home until I figured it out to check this and check that. But I just knew, as time went on, that I'm like, okay, if I was to ever do this by myself, I know I'd find a way and figure it out. I'd give myself no option.
It's the way to do it.
Right, absolutely.
So I guess following up to that one, do you miss working at the dealership?
I don't miss anything about working at the dealership. It's nothing really against the dealership. It's just more of, like I said, knowing what to do and, the operation. Some of it's good, some of it's bad. Like I said, every dealership has their ins and outs. Met a lot of great friends. That's probably the only part that I miss is, working with some of the guys. I've worked with like really, 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 really good techs, and I've learned a lot from them, and I've taken a lot from them. And I don't think I'd ever, take full credit, but some of those guys that I work next to were really, really good and hardworking, so it kind of drove me to be like them and stuff like that. What do you got for me?
Okay, so you pretty much already answered why you wanted to open your own shop, but did you have any fears when you started?
Did I have any fears? Honestly, not really. When I put my mind to everything, right before I wanted to open up my shop, I sold everything I had, so I basically gave myself no option, like, this is what I'm gonna do. And a lot of people know I started off mobile. I still had the shop. A lot of people didn't know I had the shop, but I had the shop. It was lined up way before the whole van idea. It's just I had to find a way to get money in the shop and to have a lift and to get employees, because early on I found out I definitely can't do it alone. A lot of people think that, maybe I could, but there's no way I could answer a phone, answer text, and work on cars. I found myself working on cars 2 hours a day and then running around, diagging this, diagging that. But there was no real big fears. Now, I will say when I was on my own, yeah, there's scary moments every day. But it's something you get used to, and like I said, being a problem solver, you kind of you give yourself no option and have to figure it out, Unfortunately, I can't just pick up the phone and ask them, hey, how to fix this car, so I just problem solve, figure it out.
What is your one piece of advice that you would give someone if they wanted to start their own shop?
I would really say you gotta be different, you gotta stand outside the box. Honestly, it's like, that's what I mean. When I started the shop, I looked at everybody's reviews, I looked at every mobile mechanic reviews, I just seen what what the bad was saying, what the good was saying, and then I took everything that I learned at the dealership, like from them picking up cars to dropping them off, you know, my old dealership in Texas, what they used to do is, if they spent a lot of money, they would do like a courtesy detail, just like we started doing. You come to New Hampshire, there's nothing like that. It's more of just a wash, but, you know, a customer spending 6-7 grand at a dealership, you know, my thing is like, I kind of felt like I wanted to go in there and clean that car and give it back to him. So when I was at the dealership, I really treated it like it was my own business, and which really made it really easy for me to start a business. It's like, so that's what people ask if I was scared. I really wasn't, because I treated the dealership like my own business.
Right.
You know, like I you know, really good with the parts catalog. I understand every aspect of the service department. It was always my dream to be like more of like a service director, but now I'm here, you know, running my own shop. But yeah, I think you just really gotta be different, stand out. You gotta go above and beyond. You gotta find, you know, look into my business, find everything I'm doing, and just do it 10 times better. That's really.
There's a problem.
Yeah, that's really the biggest thing. And I really don't look at anybody as competition. You know, like I compete with myself, but if, you know, say if I have sort of what I call competition up there, like I said, I just look at what they're doing and I just do it 10 times better, you know? So that's really where that goes.
So stand out and always provide value.
Oh, I always provide value, absolutely. You just, like I said, you gotta be different. I'm not, you know, I was the guy answering, you know, quotes and stuff at midnight, you know, answering the phone. I'm not saying that you have to go that extreme, but I don't do it as much as I used to. I give myself a lot more time now than I did before. But you definitely have to go out there. You gotta definitely be different, you know. And there's gonna be people that are gonna try to stop you, I promise you that. But you definitely have to just ignore that. It's definitely happened way too many times.
There you have it. Your questions answered.
Yeah. Yes, sir.